Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Geekday Podcast. We turn your weekday into a geek day. I am one of your hosts, Rob, who just finished having a panic attack. And with me today, I have my other co-host, Mr. Alex Moon. Mr. Alex Moon, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. Robert, are you ready for your
My annual review?
perfectionist?
Oh, okay.
No, your perfectionist brain to have an aneurysm?
Oh, yes. What's going on now?
There was a slight green bar at the end. There you go. You fixed it. You
Okay.
fixed it.
Yes,
You're
yeah.
fixed.
I'm seeing it right now. Hey, trust me.
Okay.
When I'm monitoring the Discord thing all the time. So, oh no, it's still popping up. Oh no, oh god, we're good. Okay, we're good. We're good. It's okay. We're all good. We're here.
Yeah.
We're done. Alex, we have a great episode today.
Do we?
Yeah. I mean, we kind of talked about it. Hey, news
Is that what you call it?
pretty not great this week. I'll tell you that much. No, there's not a lot of things to talk about, but we can talk about, first up, our weeks. How was your week? Any new things? What did you pick up today for New Comic Book Day? Or not yesterday.
Yesterday. Robert, I will tell you, your boy has been hella busy, and you're going to be surprised. This is the first New Comic Book Day I have missed in a long time. I did not pick up
Really?
any new comics this week. Yeah, I have been hella busy with some of my other stuff that I'm working on. You know, I didn't go and pick and honestly, there wasn't a lot of things that came out this week that I was super hyped on. I know, like, there was new X-Men. I imagine you picked that up.
You're imagining
right?
correctly, yes.
Okay, so you picked up X-Men. Really, for me, the only big things were like the new Absolute Batman. I really wanted to pick up Comics Magazine or Comic Books, the magazine, whatever it was called. So like that stuff, I didn't get to, unfortunately. So I'm gonna try to pick it up during the weekend. But I didn't pick up like new print comic books. But the other day on live, we went through a big old comic book collection I bought, and that was really fun. That was really cool. So that was my week of new nerdy stuff. The other cool thing that I did that was kind of nerdy and cool was right before I got on live, my wife and I were setting up her new what do you call it? Her new entertainment media thing. Not a DVD player, not a Blu-ray player, everyone, a physical media player. We were setting up a VCR.
A VCR. That's interesting.
A VCR, yes. We set up. We got the adapters and everything. They were down there watching Phantom Menace on tape. Shit was wild. So that's what we were getting up to a moment ago.
Yeah, that's like the new. I feel like the past is the new future right now. Everyone's going back to their physical media, which, hey, I'm all for. I thought that's great. I love to see that.
Oh yeah.
I picked up a few comics this week.
Tell me.
So, I mean, obviously, like you said, the new X-Men came out. So, you know, of course, I had to get X-Men United 1. And then, you know, it's also considered kind of a wraparound. So I had to get the other version of it that makes it a full one. So I have the full X-Men United wraparound covers together, as well as I picked up to try out Imperial Guardians #1. I thought it was all right. I think I'm going to pick up the next issue to check it out, to continue to be like, that's all right. It starts off really rough, and then it gets a lot better, I think, near the end. Absolute Green Lantern, #12. Enjoyed this one as well. I'm surprised they didn't do an annual for it. But hey, you know what? I guess it's not doing well. So
I was about to say they usually do that for the good books.
Yeah. Absolute Batman 18. I texted you once I finished it, and I said I absolutely love Absolute Batman. And goddamn, this issue was so good.
I got your text message, and like I literally I was in the middle of the day at work, and normally I can get away and I can run to the comic store, and I just couldn't this week. We're very busy, and I got your text message like in the middle of the workday, and I read it, and I was like, "Shut the hell!" I was like, "How dare you!"
It's so good. It's one of my favorite issues that's come out so far because it's pulling a lot of things together, as well as you're seeing a lot of changes within Bruce himself, as well as this is something that has been on my radar for a while. But the new Red Band Alias from Marvel came out.
Yeah,
and I picked it up to try it out. I thought it was all right.
Damn.
There's some cool
Robert
stuff.
hates women.
That's so true. No, it's Women's Month. No.
Just the no hesitation. So true.
So true. So true. No,
Damn.
there's a lot of really cool stuff in it. I think the art's not my favorite. I mean, besides like the cover looks fantastic, but the art inside's not my favorite. It's like I said, it starts off also kind of slow, very much like the Imperial Guardians. It does get a bit better, and it if you like read the kind of like what it's about from like the
What is afterward?
It's not like the classifieds or whatever, but like whatever it is about like the thing that you get to talk about what comics are coming out. But basically, you know what I'm talking about. DC has like DC Connect, Marvel has like Marvel whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
One of those things. And so it's about someone close to Jessica Jones gets murdered, and she has to team up with Typhoid Mary to solve the murder. So it is very, very cool to see kind of these different characters coming together, and I'm excited to kind of continue to read it. I think it's only going to be 5 issues because Marvel loves to do that. But that is what I picked. It's the solicitations.
It's a woman. So
thank you so much. The solicitations. But Alex, that's our week. We got to kind of dive in almost immediately to our topic, which is down below, because there's a lot. I don't know how much we're gonna get into here.
God.
But
God.
It's funny. Right before we jumped onto the stream, Alex is like, "Bro, what are we gonna talk about?" Because like it's a drought.
Not a lot was going on. Like, you know, they talked about how, I'm forgetting the actor's name, but the actor for Jon Stewart is apparently, allegedly, supposedly going to show up in Man of Tomorrow. There was like Nick. How do you pronounce his last name? Is it Dragotta?
Nick Dragotta. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For Absolute Batman, he's talking about how he's gonna, you know, he's down to draw like 100 issues if they'll let him. They're doing K-pop Demon Slayers Part 2. Like, there's not a lot of news that's out. That's usually our big thing. Mm-hmm. So I was like, Robert, there's really not a lot going on. And Robert, in his almighty wisdom, was like, let's rank the MCU. And I was literally there. And I thought Robert meant like from number 1 to number fucking 47. And I was like, you're giving me 2 hours notice of this shit? But no, that's not what Robert meant. Robert, tell us what you meant. Tell us what we're doing tonight.
Boom. We're gonna. Oh, whoops. That's embarrassing. It did not pop up. We're gonna be doing a tier list of all the ones that we have right now. Oh, that's the wrong one. Oh my God, today is just kind of crazy. There we go. Cool. We're doing
some Tony Stark testicles.
Yes. We're doing a tier list of the MCU. Now, our first idea was just doing phase 1. Alex, I think we see as long as we can go within our usual hour in like 10-minute episode. What are you thinking?
Yeah, no, I think we can do it. I think we can get through it. Some of these we'll blaze through, some of them we won't. And you know, and I think it'll bring up some interesting conversations, but I will tell you guys, we're going to get to certain ones like, you know, like your Infinity Wars, and we all know where that shit's going to go. You know what I mean? We're probably not going to spend too long on it. I'm hype. Luckily, this is going to be a long list to go through, a long list to rank. And lucky for us, we started on time. We didn't have any technical issues. We got plenty of time. So, you know, I'm ready to jump in.
Hell yes. And of course, there are going to be instances where Alex and I are probably going to be at complete opposite ends from each other. And that is where we're going to need your help, guys. So please tell us where you think some of these movies should go, because it might convince us to move things one way or the other. So, Alex, this, I think I did tell you that this actually also includes TV shows as well. We can skip over them or do them if you want to.
We can do them. I know there's going to be some like maybe we haven't seen, and that's why we do have at the very bottom, never watched. So, you know, and Robert, why don't you tell us what are these tiers that we're working with?
Yes, so at the very bottom, obviously, we have never watched. This is stuff that either both of us have never watched, or probably, honestly, some of these I've just never watched. So I'm just going to be like, Alex, you can put them where you think they need to be. Then we have garbage. This is the bottom of the MCU. Why was this made? Can we get this off of Disney Plus so it can no longer exist? We have forgettable movies that are, you know, not garbage, but they're like, oh yeah, they made that one. That's right. That's something that's
Uh-huh.
there. We have Pretty Okay, which is, yeah, okay. I mean, I enjoyed it. Definitely probably wouldn't put it on a rewatch or anything like that. But a movie that is generally kind of just like, it exists, and it, yeah, we have good slash solid. Now, this is probably where a lot of them are gonna lie. These
Yeah.
are just movies that, hey, like, man, these are good movies. Like, this is like, kind of what our standards are for the movies in the MCU. And then, of course, we have the masterpieces. These are the creme de la creme, the top movies of the MCU. I don't honestly see a lot of them living in here. But this is always, we can always make more,
Where
make
else are
less.
we gonna put Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Oh, obviously,
So
a
I don't.
masterpiece plus. Let me make another one right on top of masterpiece,
The
just so we can do
masterpiece.
that. So, Alex, we'll start with our very first one. Of course, Iron Man 1. Now, where
Okay.
would you put Iron Man 1? Because I already have an idea of where I would put mine.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do, Rob.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go 3, 2, 1, and we're both gonna say where we think it's gonna land. Okay?
Beautiful.
So Iron Man 1, where do we think it's gonna go? 3, 2, 1, masterpiece.
Okay.
Yep.
Woo, I'm
Yep.
glad that we're on the
Yep. There
same
we go.
page there. Uh,
Yeah.
Iron Man 1 is just so goddamn good. It is like, obviously,
Beautiful.
like, the MCU would not be where it is if it was not for this movie. We got to see Robert Downey Jr. coming back to life in Hollywood with this. Alex, what to you makes this a masterpiece?
Honestly, the whole thing, the story behind it, the fact that allegedly, apparently, supposedly, this was filmed without a script. It was an outline, really. All the actors are solid. Robert Downey Jr.'s comeback as an actor. All those things together just make this a perfect time. And I mean, I think the big thing is that even today, people are still basing not just Marvel movies, all superhero movies on the structure of what Jon Favreau did, or Favreau, I don't know, everyone says different, what they did with this movie. Every movie from this point has followed the same formula, the same, character figuring out who they are, building their suit montage, fighting the mirror version of themselves at the end. Like every single superhero movie since this movie takes notes from Iron Man. So
Absolutely, 100% agree with that.
and then George over here says, I think Robert Downey Jr.'s comeback was actually in Tropic Thunder.
Was Tropic Thunder before this? No, no way.
No, I think Tropic Thunder was after this.
Tropic Thunder.
I don't know. You check. Which is wild, bro. Robert Downey Jr. did a huge Marvel superhero blockbuster, and the next movie he did was blackface movie. Like, that's wild.
Oh no. Okay, so they both came out in 2008. I'm trying to see what.
I think Iron Man came out before.
It came out before. Okay, I believe.
I think because Iron Man came out in May.
Okay. Yeah, this trailer for the film was released in April. So yes, okay. Iron Man is the first one. Okay. I was like, that would have been wild.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't think he would have been as successful if it would have come out the other way around.
I agree. Yeah.
Rob, what's our next film?
Our next one is The Incredible Hulk. Now, this is the one, obviously, not Mark Ruffalo. This was Edward Norton. Alex, count of three. Where would you put this? 1, 2, 3. Forgettable. Okay. Maybe we're not going to have a lot of disagreements this episode.
I thought that was going to be the hot take for me, honestly. I mean, it's Solar Punk going, what? Yeah. Robert, you tell me. I took the last one. Tell me why you think this one's forgettable.
It's just, obviously, one, there's really no main connection to the MCU with this movie. Any of the characters that were in that movie have either been recasted or they don't even refer to it. Which, of course, it was a different property back then. It was kind of the first one of these movies that was kind of like shoveled in under the MCU banner. Edward Norton is just Edward Norton in this role. I don't know. I'm just like, okay, I get it. This movie was made, and it makes me kind of more want a Mark Ruffalo Hulk movie. But I'm at the point where I don't think I need one. Like, I think I'm good. I think we got the Hulk movie, and I just can't see a Hulk movie being good.
I mean, see, I completely disagree with you there. I think there's a lot of room to do a great Hulk film. I just don't think that. I think Hulk can be such a cerebral character that we just haven't found the right creatives. But I think the comic books suffer from that too. Is some writers don't know how to write the Hulk, and they boil him down to strong guy who breaks things. Now, Solar Punk, real quick. I do want to ask you where would you put it? Because Solar Punk's in our chat here. We are filming live. Oh, here we go. Solar Punk says Hulk was so good. Edward Norton's performance is way better than Mark Ruffalo, and there was a connect. Okay, he's going to finish saying it. But in my opinion, Rob, I agree with everything that you're saying for the most part. But the thing that tells me that the Hulk was a forgettable movie was Captain America: Brave New World.
Mm-hmm.
Because who went to go see Captain America: Brave New World and went, "Oh yes, they're following up the classic that I love"? Nobody said that. Everybody was like, to the MCU at the end credits. See, but Solar Punk, that's my thing. You're saying that it connects to the MCU at the end credits scene, but then they retroactively, I don't know, this is where my MCU autism is going to kick in. They retroactively rewrote that later. Are you aware of that, Rob?
I did not know that, no.
There was so at the end of the Hulk, Robert Downey Jr. shows up to go to General Ross and be like, we're making a team. And then we find out two things. One, we find out that Robert Downey Jr. was approaching General Ross about Abomination. They weren't like, oh, we're talking about the Hulk. They were talking about Abomination.
Interesting.
Because they came out later and were like, that doesn't make sense if he's asking for the Hulk if the whole thing is the Hulk got away. You know what I mean? So they're asking about Abomination. And then two is that they retroactively talked about how Robert Downey Jr. wasn't going to start the Avengers and that thing. In Iron Man 2, he literally tells Nick Fury, I did what you wanted. I asked about it. He was being forced to do that. It wasn't a nice, they had to write and it's great comic book stuff because that's what they do in the comics. A new writer has to come in and make it all make sense, right? Mm-hmm. But that's what they did. Solar Punk would put it in good or solid. Man, I don't know, man. I don't know. I personally don't agree with that one at all. But Rob, I'm surprised me and you both agree with that one. I'll take our next one. Rob, our next one, we've got Iron Man 2, 2010's Iron Man 2. First appearance of Don Cheadle as the new Rhodey, and also first appearance of Rhodey as War Machine. Robert, we'll do 1, 2, 3. We're both going to say where we think this one goes. You ready, Rob?
I'm ready.
1, 2, 3.
Pretty okay.
Good, solid.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I'll start here. This movie is good. I mean, it's not. I'm saying good, but I don't want to put it in good. I think it's one of those ones where it's just a step above forgettable, where it's oh yeah, they made this movie. I enjoy it. I don't think, to me, good/solid is I'm gonna rewatch this movie. I don't think I need to rewatch Iron Man 2. No, I mean there are parts of this movie that is really, really good. Maybe I'm giving it more of a. You go ahead and talk. You might convince me to move it up to good/solid.
Well, first off, before we get into the story, let's just talk about if movies were comic books, this is a key issue. We have the first full-length appearance of Nick Fury in the MCU. We have the first Natasha Romanoff full-length appearance in the MCU. Black Widow's first fight in the MCU. The introduction of the mobile suits for Iron Man, Justin Hammer, who plays a big part later. There's just a lot of stuff that builds up later on. We also get the reveal of Captain America's prototype shield in one of the montages, or Coulson helps him and stuff. But outside of all that, I do think the story is a big fucking mess. I won't disagree with you. I think it's all over the place, kind of like that thing we were talking about earlier. But I think it's great comic book writing where it's just let's make this shit make sense, because it really doesn't, and it's all over the place. But honestly, if we take it as a whole, it's got some great first appearance stuff for the MCU, some great first for the MCU, like I said, but also the armors look amazing. The fight scenes, outstanding. The end where Rhodey and Iron Man are going back to back, doing the shit against all the hammer drones. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. It's such a good scene. It's such a good ending to that film. Also, film went through some crazy rewrites. There was a novel that got released when that film came out back in 2010 that I read because I'm a nerd. And you could tell the movie was supposed to have a much different ending. But overall, while the story's messy, I think it's so memorable. I think it's so fun. And I think it's just like it feels like just Robert Downey Jr. at the peak of like, okay, we've introduced Iron Man, do your shit, like just do Iron Man shit. And to me, that's also why I like Age of Ultron over some of the other Avengers films, because it's the only Iron Man movie that is just, hey, here's the story, here's the Iron Man stuff. I don't know, that's me.
I don't know. So there's Solar Punk in here being like, I agree with Rob. I think the plot was a little too similar with the first movie, and Hammer was lame. I'm gonna disagree with Hammer being lame. I love Sam Rockwell. I think he brings just a perfect amount of smarminess to any role that he's in. I just love him, and he makes me think about like Edward Norton in the in the Glass Onion movie. I think he was great in that. But he also asked, are we judging movies based on quality or just connections to the MCU? I just think like overall, the movie itself.
Yeah. I think overall, but I do think you bring up a good point, because I did start a lot of my points with like, it's a key issue. Like, you know, it's there's a lot of firsts in here. But my thing is like, I think that's why we can't put it into forgettable. You know what I mean? Because like it's forgettable, but it has all these MCU firsts. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and I know you're saying pretty okay. You're not saying forgettable, but that's kind of why I'm bringing that up, because I don't think it's that low, and obviously you don't think it's that low either. But I don't know. I mean, I'm a good solid. Robert is at pretty okay. I know we've got Solar Punk and George in the chat. What do y'all think? Y'all tell us. Maybe y'all can tie break it, or maybe y'all are going to make it a worse head to head.
They're saying over here, both of them, they both say good solid. So with you two,
they did both say good solid.
Yeah,
okay.
With you and then the other two, we're moving Iron Man 2 into good / solid. So we got our first in good / solid.
Okay.
This one, I'm very interested to see kind of where we go with this one. Next one is going to be Thor #1. Alex, 1, 2, 3. Garbage.
Masterpiece. You're lying to me, bro.
No, I think I'm gonna put it in pretty okay. I think all of the Thor movies, with the exception, are gonna be in forgettable for me. Forgettable or like pretty okay. It's fine. It's okay. It's just pretty like okay. Yeah. It's like, I don't know. There's like so much nothingness. It seems like this is one of the movies that they were like, we're building the Avengers, we have to make it. And there's like no thought about the actual story kind of going on. I don't think like we don't get a really good like Thor moments until Ragnarok, where like his arc is like kind of not coming to an end, but it's like, oh hey, like let's dealing with like the ramifications of kind of everything that's happened and what's going to be coming. Like he really gets like super not powered down, but like I don't know. I just think the only really good Thor movie is Ragnarok. Maybe go ahead and tell me what you're thinking over there, because I see you're gonna have an aneurysm over there.
Bro, you're wild. You're wild, man. Because I think Thor 1 is the best Thor movie.
That's crazy. That's crazy,
dude. Because you have to bring in these like I just read a Thor. I read Captain America 170 something. It's one of the ones where it's when he gives up being Captain America to become Nomad.
Okay.
And Thor walks in. And why do you look dark?
I'm trying to find a good lighting. Okay. You're good.
Thor walks in and he goes like, "Doth thou art want to give up thy identity?" And I'm like, "What are you saying?" So you have to bring the job of bringing that into like coherence. Like that alone is insane. I think they did that very well. I completely disagree with the story. I think it's a great story. I think it's a great. There are so many great Thor moments even before him being there with Jane, explaining the different realms and all that. That's great. I think they have great. Robert's making faces, but I think they have great chemistry in that movie. I think it's so fucking funny, and I think it's the best humor that we have with Thor.
That is wild. I think it's Ragnarok right there. That's wild.
Because the humor in that film is based on Thor's ignorance about the world, which makes sense. And we continue that in the Avengers. Every other film, it just progressively makes him dumber. Like, that is what's going on. The humor comes that now that he's stupid. And these are humorous because he's ignorant to the ways of Earth, which I think is the best humor that they have for Thor. After that, they make him a beer belly gamer. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's so good. I think the end fight is so good. The ultimate sacrifice he makes at the end with the destroyer armor is absolutely fantastic. The costuming and everything. The only thing bad about that movie is that they, for some reason, put the blonde hair dye in Chris Hemsworth's beard as well. Like, that part looks dumb. But, like, everything else looks great. Tom Hiddleston is Loki. Odin is as fucking, what's his name? Hannibal Lecter. I don't remember. But like, it's just so good. It is so dope. The introduction of Hawkeye, again, it's not just about the introductions, but introduction of Hawkeye, we get the Donald Blake references. I think it's a solid ass movie, and honestly, I think it's masterpiece because it brings Thor and makes people care about Thor. Like, there's so many other characters they brought forth. Ant-Man. I don't give a shit about Ant-Man. Why do we have that many Ant-Man movies? I cared about Thor immediately. You know, I don't know. I disagree. I think y'all are wild. I'm going home.
I will not. Okay,
home.
so where are you? What is, like, your thing? You want to put it a masterpiece? You said masterpiece.
I agree with masterpiece. I think it's masterpiece. I think if we're ranking MCU, it is an MCU masterpiece film.
That's
but, you
crazy.
know,
I will.
Okay.
So we have people here. So we have Solar Punk saying forgettable. We had George saying pretty okay. Anyone else watching, go ahead and put whatever you're thinking. I'm okay with moving it up from forgettable to pretty okay.
Okay. I will concede to that because I'm realizing I'm on a totally different end of the spectrum.
You're like in space right now.
I'm in space. Yeah. You know who else is in space? Thor. So
Thor, we'll put at pretty okay. That's our compromise here. Now, Alex.
That is wild.
Alex, I'm ready for this one to come forward because I know how much you love this next movie. And our next movie is going to be Captain America, the First Avenger.
Okay, Robert, just tell me where you're at. 'Cause you already know where I'm at. We don't need a countdown.
I'm going to put it at good/solid.
You're wild. I think it's a masterpiece film. Film.
I wonder why. Looking at your
Thank you, Solar Punk. How dare you? How absolutely dare you? My culture is not a joke. Solar Punk also says masterpiece. Oh, but George says good/solid. Oh, we're still at a tiebreaker, bro. Man,
go ahead. This is yours. Yeah.
I a little bit like with the Thor thing. Captain America is a hard character to transition into the modern world, and I think they do it great. I think it's a great period piece. I think it's a beautiful movie. And it's one of those films that, like, you know, I owe my girl a dance that he says later on several times. You remember it from this movie. The I had a date. You remember it from this movie. I'm just a kid from Brooklyn. The stuff that they pay off later on in the movies are all set up in this film for Captain America's story. And not only that, again, it's filmed beautifully. The costume design is amazing. Arguably, like, one of the best costumes he's had in the MCU. But outside of all that, it's a great story. It is a perfect reinterpretation of Captain America's story that stays true to the heart of what that story is. But it takes out some of the corniness. It takes out a bit of the just kind of bullshit that's in there. And, you know, being someone who really likes Captain America and reads it a lot, there is a lot of bullshit in Captain America lore, especially in his origin. I don't know. I would say this is a masterpiece. This is a movie that I can watch over and over again. I think it stands toe-to-toe. And maybe I'm just a guy for the classics, because I think the first three of the main three films are all masterpieces, in my opinion.
That's wild. That's wild.
Robert, oh, God. Okay, so let me, before I get you, Rob, let me read some of this.
Uh-huh.
George said, I would say it's like right in the middle of good and solid and masterpiece. It was a classic hero's journey and period piece with great action. I agree, Solar Punk. I agree.
I would agree that it is a great period piece. It is like it's super super good. I think the colors in that movie are some of my favorite like coloring in all the Marvel movies. Just and, like the reds and blues just really pop in that movie. And of course we get Steve. I was gonna say Steve Evans, Chris Evans. I was gonna say Chris Rogers next. No, we get Chris Evans as Steve Rogers and. Perfect casting. I can't imagine anyone else ever playing him. There are a couple of things that I'm just like, it's all right. Maybe it's just like it's not my attachment to Captain America. I feel like now, like later in life, I'm starting to appreciate Captain America a little bit more, and maybe this is one of the movies I need to rewatch to get like a better, a love for the character. I don't know. Here's my thing. So now we get to decide if putting a movie in front of another movie on the same tier is making it better, which I think we should do. Okay.
Yes, and Captain America, I will concede to putting it on good solid because me and you again, like I mean everyone's gonna know that Alex doesn't agree with this situation here, but I definitely think it needs to be above Iron Man.
Okay, I agree as well.
Above Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
Above Iron Man 2.
I would say let's do above Iron Man, good right there, and good/solid. That is almost right there to masterpiece.
I'm not happy about it, but I will concede to that. I'm okay with that.
You know what? How about this? I'll give it to you, but you might have to concede to something a little bit later on. How does that sound?
Oh, no. Okay, give it to me. Give it to me.
There we go.
Give it to me.
All right, yes! So masterpiece behind Iron Man. I think Iron Man is still the better movie.
I do agree with you there. I do agree there.
Alex, do you want to say what our next one is?
Yes. Our next one, the first team-up film in the MCU. First off, we have Vince over here, my favorite 47 and 43-year-old. How dare you assume that Robert is younger than me?
It's a correct assumption, but how dare you?
So, how dare you? Our next film is Avengers, 2012's 2012's Marvel's The Avengers. So, not to be confused with Square Enix's Marvel's The Avengers. This is Marvel Studios' The Avengers. Rob, so we're going to do 1, 2, 3. We're each going to say where we think this goes. You ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Pretty okay.
What? Pretty okay is wild.
I don't. Okay. You tell me why you think it's a masterpiece, and then I'm gonna shit on all your points.
I think that I'm gonna put the whole Joss Whedon thing aside. Terrible person. We're removing that. We're removing the whole Joss Whedon thing out of it.
Putting Joss Whedon over there. Got
yes, it. I think that this movie is the epitome of the MCU right now in kind of where everything is built off afterwards. It is funny. It is heartwarming. It does amazing ways of introducing the characters to each other. I remember, as I started thinking about this, a lot of this movie is just like sitting around in different rooms and just talking to each other, getting to know each other, and having those sort of little things of camaraderie. This is what it is. This movie feels like a comic book. If you're picking up an issue of the Avengers and you're going to be sitting there and enjoying it. This is literally like ripped from a page, put it onto the screen, and that's exactly what Marvel's The Avengers is. It's a masterpiece. You get to see Chris Evans against Robert Downey Jr., against Chris Hemsworth, against what's her name? Scarlett Johansson. You get to see all these different characters interact with each other for the first time on the screen, and it is just so great. I cannot even. Yes, even Solar Punk. It's a masterpiece. George. It's a masterpiece. Personally, Solarpunk saying personally, I would rate good/solid, but because the first crossover with all the heroes, it was monumental. I agree. The George over here saying, what the heck, pretty okay. Yeah, pretty okay is wild. I would understand like bottom of good/solid, but pretty okay is wild.
Okay, Rob, I hear you. I hear your points, and I don't disagree with a lot of what you're saying. But the thing for me is that I rarely want to go back and rewatch this movie. Like I don't really come back to watch it. If I want to see the part where they're all together, ass to ass, looking up at the aliens, I'll look up the clip on YouTube, right? But my thing is, you put Joss Whedon away. I'm gonna grab him back and I'm gonna bring him back to the forefront. And it's not for the reasons that you think. This whole movie is shot like season 2 of The Flash. This whole movie looks like a TV episode. And that's the part that really takes me out of it. Because you're right, there's a lot of sitting around talking in different rooms, and there are great moments, but it's all these wide shots of just people sitting at goddamn tables or standing in goddamn rooms. I'm waiting for Nick Fury to be like, "We're the Flash, Barry." Like, that's what it looks like the entirety of this film. Now, don't get me wrong, there's some parts that look amazing. When they're doing the fight and we finally get some dynamic camera movements, it looks incredible. But that is all the special effects team. None of that is Joss Whedon. The actual Joss Whedon parts where he's directing them in a room, it all looks like shit, in my opinion. It looks like they rushed it. It looks like they were like, oh, we got it all in a row. Let's hurry up and get these guys. And we know that because Chris Evans was practically filming Captain America at the same time as the Avengers. Like, it was all happening all at once. So that part really takes me out of it. And there's some great moments. But for me, it's pretty okay because while there's some great moments that doesn't make up for as a film, I think this is my complete opposite problem from Thor and Captain America, where they have visual languages, where it's a great story. It is a nothing story to get everyone together, which is fine. You got to do that in the first team-up movie. You have to have the convoluted reasons they all come in, and we don't have to over-explain it. But with that being said, it also has to look interesting. And you can tell by the second Avengers movie, Joss Whedon has found a much more dynamic way to shoot these characters. And that wasn't there in this movie. And honestly, even in the second movie, there are still a couple scenes where I'm like, come on, dude, do something. We're at a wide angle shot. We've been here for 30 seconds. Like I don't know. That's my opinion. This looks CW as shit to me. I really like it. Don't get me wrong. I think the ending battle is great. But the ending battle of Endgame is also great. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's. I'll go back and watch the ending battle to to Zack Snyder's Justice League.
That's wild.
Does that mean I want to watch the whole movie? No, I don't. But anyway, that's my opinion. That's my opinion.
And it's an incorrect opinion. This is your goat, everyone. This is your goat.
I love that. This is your god. Look, I will concede. I'll meet you in the middle. We can put it in garbage.
That's why. But Alex, what about George's point? What about shawarma?
Look, that's why we're in pretty okay and not forgettable. No, I'm kidding.
That's wild.
No, I don't know. I will meet you at Good Solid if y'all want. Or this is your one that I can pay you back at, and we can. I'll allow it in Masterpiece if you want, but I felt like you were saving that for something else.
Yeah, I'll wait that for a little bit for something else. I think if we're meeting in the middle, right? We'll put at top of Good Solid.
Good Solid below Iron Man 2.
That's what? No, I'm not putting the Avengers below Iron Man 2.
Ahead of Iron Man 2.
Below Iron Man 2 is fucking wild. Alex, that is the end of phase 1. Did we want to move into phase 2? We are about 40 minutes in.
Wait a second. Was Iron Man 3?
Iron Man 3 is considered the beginning of phase 2.
Is it? I thought Iron Man 3 was the end of phase 1.
That is what I'm seeing right here on this website.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If the website's saying it, we'll go with that. I all this time have thought Iron Man 3 was the end of phase 1.
Because the internet never lies.
That's true. Dude, let's go.
Cool.
Let's go to phase 2, and then from there we'll see honestly, let me see. I don't know. I think we could probably...
It goes all the way until Ant-Man. But that's also including Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage.
Yeah, we'll go another phase, and cool. we'll keep going. We'll keep going.
Sounds good to me. We can also speed run them because I feel like some of these we're gonna agree with, and some. Iron Man 3, 1, 2, 3, pretty okay.
Good solid.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll put it at the bottom of good solid. How's that sound?
Okay. I'm fine with good solid. I think it's a fun movie. I think it's flawed. But I do think Shane Black adds a lot of great flavor to there. But Iron Man 3, definitely solid. Not bad. Not a masterpiece, but definitely not any lower than that.
Yes,
So I would agree there.
I agree. The Shane Black of it all, I think, really saves the movie, and there are definitely people in there are other MCU people that are like he ruins the movie, which I just completely disagree with. There's a lot of
that is wild.
Yeah,
that is wild.
There's a lot of dark humor in this movie that, as well as dealing with the anxiety attacks as well, really brings a lot of character to Tony Stark that does pay off, in Infinity War and Endgame as well.
Mm-hmm. And just to mention one point before we move on, there's also a lot of really great detail that Shane Black brings in as a director. One, just with Tony Stark's character, but two, even in just some of the action scenes. Like there's kind of a twist that happens in the middle of the movie where Iron Man goes on a mission and he's not in the suit. Like he's like, using his mind to control the suit or whatever the hell that technology was. And it's seen as almost like Iron Man just got demolished. Oh, he's not in the suit. It's okay. But at the beginning of the movie, he sets up that the suit moves and sounds differently when Tony's not in the suit. It doesn't sound as heavy. It sounds lighter. It sounds more robotic. And in that scene, we hear the suit sounding like that. So it's those little things that you can kind of point to and you're like, that's some great attention to detail. So I agree there. I'll introduce our next one, Rob. And this is Thor 2, Thor the Dark World. I want to say this one was 2013 as well. But Thor the Dark World, Robert, 1, 2, 3.
Never watched.
Forgettable. You never watched
seen
Thor
this
the Dark
movie.
World.
Never seen this movie. I've heard nothing but really bad things, and I could not bring myself to spend an hour and a half, 2 hours to sit down and watch this movie. Eventually, I'll do it. Eventually. That day is just not going to be in. Maybe if I have a kid in the future and I'm stuck with the kid and be like, well, there's nothing else I can do. I guess I'll put on Thor the Dark World and be stuck here.
Robert said, one day I'll have the greatest joy of my life and get to breathe in all my loves and interests. And when I ultimately am stuck with this stupid ass thing, I'll watch Thor the Dark World. Let's see. Solarpunk says garbage. The only MCU film I fell asleep to. Did you watch Ant-Man Quantumania? But anyway, look.
George says forgettable.
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, you haven't seen it. We got 2 votes for forgettable. I'd put it in forgettable.
Do you want to do it above or below Hulk?
Oh, below Hulk.
Okay.
Below Hulk.
Okay, there we go.
Not garbage, but definitely if it's on and I'm at the doctor's office, I'm not going to be upset about it.
Okay.
That's kind of how I see it.
Alex, of course, I want you to introduce our next film.
Okay. Captain America, The Winter Soldier, 2014. 1, 2, 3, masterpiece.
I am between masterpiece and good/solid. Go ahead.
I think this movie, for me, while I do think it's a masterpiece, I think it's below First Avenger for me.
I agree. No, I agree with that.
So I think it's a great movie. I do think that it's been a little overhyped a bit. But it's a great film. It's an amazing film. Again, some great Marvel firsts. One, bringing back Hydra. 2, the introduction of Sam Wilson. But it's a great Captain America film. It really expands Steve Rogers' character in a way that while the first 2 films he was in were pretty good, I'm saying pretty good, but I mean for characterization, this one really propelled him into being much more of an interesting character. And I think this is the film that really got people to really like Steve Rogers as a character in these films. I was looking at George and I forgot that we had just talked about one that we thought was garbage. So I thought Solarpunk was saying this one was garbage. So I was about to have an aneurysm. But yeah, I don't know. Robert, what about you? You're saying kind of good, solid. It feels a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those movies that I agree with you. I think it has been overhyped over the years. I do think it is a great introduction of the Russo brothers into the MCU and how they've continued to develop the MCU as a pair, as well as we get to see Bucky back. We get to introduce all these brand new characters. I think it has an issue where part of that movie for me is kind of just like eyes glaze over, and I'm like, okay, action, 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 action. Okay, cool. Now we're back to like the deep espionage part of it that really makes me
Okay.
enjoy. Of course, yeah, like don't get me wrong, there are some great action scenes, but there's just some stuff that I'm like, okay, yeah, it's good. I think I remember maybe one action scene. Well, two action scenes. I remember the beginning, the launching onto the boat, and then I
Mhm.
remember the one where was it Bucky catches the shield, and
Yes,
that's really the only two. I don't remember really anything else about any action scenes or
that is
anything.
that is wild. That is wild. I will meet you in the middle, and I'm willing to put this at the top of good solid.
I think it's better. I'll meet you there because this is your favorite. I would put it below the Avengers, but this is your
Well,
favorite.
put it below the Avengers. Put it below the Avengers.
Okay, okay, I'll do that.
If you think it's below the Avengers, I am fine with that. As long as we're still in good solid, we're not going any lower than that. That's fine with That's fine with me.
Yeah, I would rather watch the Avengers again than Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
That is wild. That's a little wild to me. Okay, Robert, introduce our next one.
This next one is Guardians of the Galaxy. Alex, one, two, three, good/solid.
Good solid. Oh,
Yes,
okay,
yes.
okay, yeah.
I was up.
I
No,
Go
yeah,
ahead, go
I was
ahead.
like,
No,
I
you're
was
good.
up there that I would put it in masterpiece because it's one of my favorite MCU movies overall. But I just have so much love for this movie. I have so much like personally attached to this movie. I was working at the movie theaters when this movie came out. I got free tickets on opening night. I was the only person allowed to do it in the entire theater. I had my one single seat by myself in the corner of the theater, and it was just amazing. I just worked a full shift, got off, watched the movie, laughed my ass off. I think that this is just a great breath of fresh air for the MCU overall. The additions of a team that no one knows about to go from from the MCU's like star child, the Avengers, to this movie and have them be so different yet so alike. It's just great. James Gunn, we all know why now he is in charge of the DCU, and it's because of this movie and what this sets up for his career and the universe as a whole. I just love this movie so much. Alex, what were you saying?
I agree. I think you took the words out of my mouth. I agree with every single sentiment that you had there. I think it's a great film. I think it's good, solid. I think it's one that really it's one of those special films that if it didn't occur, the MCU wouldn't be where it's at. So it's definitely an important brick in the wall or the house that is the MCU, right? Now, with that being said, Robert, the thing that maybe we'll get into a little disagreement about is if it's good, solid. I think it's better than all those films currently there.
No agreement. No argument here. I think it's the very
Okay,
top
yeah,
of good solid.
yeah, I think it's a very top of good solid as well. And honestly, I don't know what movie's gonna take it out of there.
Yeah, that's what I'm
like,
saying. Like that's why it's at that like middle point for me, where like I would move it to the very bottom of masterpiece, so like other things can go at the top of good solid.
yeah, hmm
But I'm not gonna. I don't see anyone. I see the only person that's voting in here is George saying good solid. So if George is also
yeah,
there in agreement, maybe we'll do that there.
yeah.
But
I
I do
agree.
see things maybe putting behind Guardians, but definitely not in front of good.
Oh yeah,
We can
yeah,
always
yeah.
change it later.
Of course, of course. Rob, I'll introduce this next one.
Yes.
This next one is from 2015, if I remember correctly. Daredevil, season one of the Netflix Daredevil show. Um, Rob, ready? One, two, three.
Good solid.
Masterpiece. No way.
It would be like right below Guardians for me. Um,
Wow, bro. Wow.
let's see what
I
everyone else says, but go ahead and you start because, like I said, this is one of the things I think you could convince me to move up pretty easily.
well, I think if it wasn't for the success of this show, well, like if we didn't get the absolute peak that is Daredevil season one, not only would we have not gotten the other Daredevil shows, we wouldn't have gotten the peak that is Jessica Jones. We wouldn't have gotten the peak that is Luke Cage. We wouldn't have gotten whatever Iron Fist was. We we wouldn't have gotten the Defenders. We wouldn't have gotten Falcon and the Winter Soldier, WandaVision, She-Hulk, it showed that there is value in like long form TV with superheroes. Both Solar Punk and George are in the chat right now. They're saying masterpiece, and that's where I'm at. Like, I just think that if it wasn't for this show, and not only just for it existing, but it being as good as it was, the character arc of Matt Murdock, the lighting, the dynamic, like just camera work that's in the show, the fact that you can tell that it's low budget by how creative they got with making it look so good. The lead up. This is the only show, because I hate it. I hate characters having to earn their costumes, but this is the only show where the lead up to him getting the Daredevil suit makes sense. It's a great story payoff. The suit is a character in itself that pays off this arc that he goes through of deciding if he's going to be the vigilante beating up people or if he's going to be the symbol for hope, right? And I'm not trying to say he's Superman, but there's a symbolism there. There's him using that anger, that devil inside of him to fight for good. Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin. Incredible performance, bro. So good that they canceled the show and they brought him back in Hawkeye and in other shows before he got back in Daredevil. Like, a performance so good that they canceled the show, but they had to get him somewhere else. And I think if it wasn't for that lightning in a bottle chemistry between Charlie Cox, what's his name? I'm losing his name. Foggy's name. Oh God, what's his name? Anyway, but if it wasn't for just that whole cast, Vincent D'Onofrio and all of them having the chemistry that they have, we wouldn't be getting Born Again. We wouldn't have gotten all these great shows after it. Oh God, I think it's fantastic. I think it's absolutely fantastic. It is a show that I have sat down and rewatched, and there's not a lot of Marvel TV shows that I can sit down and rewatch, and it is so good. I remember showing it to my wife for the first time, and her crying at some of the soggy, the Foggy and that stuff. It's just great. I think it's absolutely incredible. George, real quick before I throw it off to Robert, he's saying, I'm currently watching the Netflix shows right now. I'm on Luke Cage season 1 right now. And Luke Cage is another solid show we're going to get to here in a little bit. But that wouldn't have come out if it wasn't for the success and just the absolute crazy just cultural movement that Daredevil was when it came out.
I think you convinced me. Like, that's the thing. It's like I think I needed you to kind of talk to me, because like these are the TV shows is where I'm gonna lean a little bit more on you, because when it comes to TV, I kind of just like I binge through it and it comes in one ear, it kind of goes in one out the other ear. So I mean, but Daredevil season 1 is one of the ones that I remember like beginning to end, because it is epic. It is like that kind of noir story that's like the first time that Marvel has done it, and this was like not Marvel proper, it was like Marvel aside, like they weren't able to say like anything about the actual fight in New York. It was like the incident in New York. There was no permissions for that, so I would
they can't even say Captain America. They say like the flag waver, or they say the green guy,
So Alex, the real question is, where would you put it in Masterpiece?
I'd put it at the bottom, personally.
Okay.
I think it's great. I think it's great, but I don't think it's while it's absolutely amazing, and I'd love to put it a little bit higher. To me, I don't think that it quite beats out those other ones. But again, it's hella solid. It's hella solid. I mean, not solid like it should go in solid, but I think it's hella good with being in the company that it's in that masterpiece category. Robert, introduce us to our next one.
This is, if you watch the Super Sanctum podcast, our episode, we had a little conversation about this one, but it is the Avengers Age of Ultron. Alex, 1, 2, 3, good / solid?
Good solid.
Okay.
Yeah.
I personally would put it behind the Avengers, but I know you like it more than the Avengers.
I would put it, I think if we're, we did this kind of on the Super Sanctum pod. If this was my favorite, this is, if I remember correctly, this was like in my top 3.
Yeah.
And while I do think for me personally, I would put it there, I think overall, if we're just taking it not just your favorite, but absolutely like quality of everything, I would say it's above Avengers 1 for me, but definitely before Guardians. I think it's a great fun time, but that's where I would put it. I don't know if you agree, if you think the first Avengers is better.
I personally think that the first Avengers is better, but from listening to your opinions on that podcast, I do remember being like, okay, I agree with it. There are still some of the grievances that I have that I would still prefer to put it over the under the Avengers, above Captain America: The Winter Soldier. But I don't know. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you.
Okay. Okay.
'Cause I'm gonna
And
be
guys,
pulling
Robert's.
some favors from you.
Well,
I'm sure.
well, Robert, hey, there's a stack of X-Men comic books you're getting over there. So,
Yeah.
but Robert's referring to the Super Sanctum podcast episode that we did, and in that I did talk about how that one's personally my favorite Avengers film, because it's the only one that is just an Avengers story. It's not the beginning, it's not the big battle, it's not the end. It is just the one that's in the middle that is just a fun Avengers story. It reminds me of the comic books. It has great character moments. And again, I think, I think director Joss Whedon, again, outside of his shittiness, he really grew in figuring out how to shoot those characters and how to really make those dynamics work much better and more naturally in this film. Except for the Natasha and Bruce Banner stuff. I could never get behind it, but I don't know. I think it's a great film. In my opinion, I think it's better than the first Avengers. I know Robert's a little rocky on that, but definitely, I think it's my favorite personally out of the Avengers films. Next one that we've got, the end of Phase 2, we have Ant-Man. So Ant-Man 1. And I see here, first off, thank you, Elle, for the follow. And then I see here George had actually said he'd never watched Age of Ultron since theaters. It's worth watching it again, George. It's worth watching it again. Go check it out.
And shout out to MK
Ant-Man.
for the first chat on the stream. So shout out to you, MK.
Hey.
Yes. Ant-Man, Alex.
Ant-Man. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
You ready, Rob? Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Pretty okay.
Good, solid. Pretty okay.
Yeah. I think it's pretty okay.
Okay.
I think that just might be my feelings for Ant-Man overall as just like a character also. He's a pretty okay.
I think this one's the best Ant-Man movie out of all of them that we've gotten.
Oh,
it's definitely.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I would put the others in forgettable and garbage. So that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't want to elevate this movie so much because the others are so bad. So like that's what I'm like. I think like if we're pulling it away and we're just like, hey, we're not talking about Quantumania, we're not talking about Ant-Man and the Wasp, we're just talking about Ant-Man. I think as it stands for itself, it's a pretty okay movie. It is funny. Paul Rudd's charismatic, as well as like there's some really good chemistry between like all of the characters, between like the stepdad and Cassie and the mom, it's Linda Cardellini, right? No, who is the mom in? No. Who's the mom in this movie?
Wait.
Linda Cardellini is a Hawkeye's wife.
The mom in this one is the one who is the mom in every romantic comedy film.
Yes.
I don't remember her name. Top of Good, solid. It's so funny, and the cast has great chemistry. Robert's saying pretty okay. I feel like Robert's giving me some lenience in some of my picks. I'm willing to concede a little bit, and I think we put it at the top of pretty okay.
I agree.
I'd be fine with that. I do think it's better than Thor.
I also think that we're gonna have a ton in good/solid, so it's kind of like okay, because to me it's like you would put it where in good/solid if we did how to put it there.
If we put it in good/solid, I would put it. I mean, honestly, to me, I'd put it right between Iron Man 2 and 3.
Really? I would put it above Iron Man 2.
Really?
Yeah, so like that would be putting like those other movies down to pretty okay for me. Like in my mind, that's how my brain works.
I mean, I think we can do it at the top of pretty okay. I'd be fine with that.
There we go. All right, cool. Well, Alex, that is the end of Phase 2 and the end of our episode today. If you liked these episodes, please let us know. This is some of the best things that we love to talk about. It's just our debates. But thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Alex, this has been fun.
Oh, this has been great. I really enjoyed this. I am I'm excited about ranking the rest of these. These will be really fun, and maybe this will just be something we go back to like throwing in at the end of the show next week. Because I know this is kind of something we wanted to do because there wasn't a lot of news this week, but that was fun. That was super hype. I dug it, and I genuinely am super hype about this phase 3 that we're gonna get into.
There's a
Because
lot here that I think we're gonna fight about.
that's what I was thinking right now. Because I'm really thinking about some of my opinions on these, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't know how me and Robert are gonna go on these, man.
George says rank 1 an episode. That might be a good idea too. I think that sometimes we have heavy news days though, so we'll talk about it behind the scenes. But that's a good idea. Thank you, George,
We'll figure it out. We'll
yeah.
figure it out. And then Solarpunk, Geekday Pod, a masterpiece.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Solarpunk.
I appreciate that. Not true. I would say, kind of been pretty okay at the top.
Yeah. I think like right now it's probably at like the middle of pretty okay, especially after the 5 disconnects of the stream earlier. But
whatever. But guys, thank y'all so much. Thank y'all for hanging out with us.
And we'll see you all next week. Bye, y'all.